OKC handled every part of that return really well, right down to beating Houston like a drum. But the real controversy was not on the floor, it was on Twitter. And it started with this tweet from Kendrick Perkins. Perk thumbed out the following, quote, "In about 30 minutes, I'm going to give my opinion on SportsCenter on why I believe that Russell Westbrook is the best player to have ever put on an Oklahoma City Thunder jersey. He is Mr. Thunder," end quote. All right, that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, pretty debatable. But what's not debatable is it was meant to get a reaction, and of course it did. A media member responded with this tweet, quote, "He put together the best career within that organization, but he's definitely not the best player to have ever put on a jersey for them. Come on, Perk," end quote. Of course, Perk responded, quote, "Hey, Kevin, left the door open, and Russ walked right in," end quote. Media member, quote, "I think Russ walked right into the door called second round of the playoffs 3 straight times," end quote. Perk, quote, "KD lost in the second round without Russ when I was there. So, what that mean?" End quote. All right, so we got a little good back and forth going on, but then a challenger appears. Player number 3 enters the game, and that player is none other than Kevin Durant, who tweeted, quote, "Yeah, in our starting center, Kendrick Perkins averaged a whopping 2 and 3 during that series. You played hard, though, champ. LOL," end quote. Loud. Well, hello. Now we have ourselves a legitimate Twitter beef. The 10-time All-Star, 2-time Finals MVP, one of the best to ever do it, climbing up on the top rope and absolutely body slamming his former teammate and alleged good friend, Kendrick Perkins. You know, nothing more condescending, nothing more patronizing, nothing more insulting than telling a starting center, an extremely proud dude at that he averaged 2 and 3 in a series, but that he, quote, "played hard though, champ. LOL." Laugh out loud. And that's outstanding. Say what you want about Kevin Durant. Say what you want about Kevin Durant being on Twitter, but let me give you a couple of facts. Number 1, Kevin Durant really, really likes being on Twitter. Number 2, if you tweet about Kevin Durant, there's a really good chance he's going to find you and respond. And number 3, fact is, the guy's pretty good at Twitter. And he got Perk pretty good. No, make that really good. Jimmy Butler and TJ Warren have got nothing on this. So, how was Perk going to respond to that? Well, as only Perk could, by grabbing a table and cracking Durant over the head with it. Of course. Quote, "Boy, stop. You did the weakest move in NBA history, up on a team 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals, and then go join them the following season? Heart of a champion right there." End quote. Boom! Roasted. Have some. Out of here. He didn't just call Durant weak for joining the Warriors. He called it, quote, "the weakest move in NBA history." Now, at that point, just about everybody on Twitter had pulled the popcorn from the microwave and the salt from the cupboard, and they were just sitting there, chomping away, waiting for another response from KD. And it came. It came in the form of a gif of a yawning sloth. You can read that one of a couple of ways. Either 1, he's calling Perk's argument tired and boring, or 2, he's calling Perk himself tired and boring. But while you could take that gif in a couple of different ways, there is no mistaking what Durant tweeted next, because this thing just keeps going. Durant jumps in with, quote, "Weak is starting at center, playing real minutes with no production. Should have worked on your skills as much as I did," end quote. So now at this point, these two dudes are just standing in the middle of the ring and trading and landing haymakers. Like, you want to call me weak for going to Golden State? Yeah, well, hey, you big fella, you didn't do a damn thing in OKC other than eat minutes and cash checks and have virtually no impact whatsoever. And if KD's point was that Perkins did not make much of an impact in OKC, he might be right about that. But the big fella was about to make an impact with this tweet. Quote, "That's fine. You worked that hard and still had to go join a 73-9 team. Truth be told, you don't even feel like a real champ. You have a hard time sleeping at night, huh? Knowing that you took the coward way out. End of quote. Go ahead, shut it down. Let's go home.
Let's go.
You're a scared coward running off to Golden State. I mean, we've got him repeating that he bailed on OKC for a 73-9 team, and he chased that by saying, you don't even feel like a real champ. And then followed that by saying, you have a hard time sleeping at night, huh? Knowing that you took the coward way out. So what Perkins did here was he dug to the body, then he cracked him hard on the chin, then he bounced a haymaker right off the top of Durant's head. And that fight was over before KD even hit the canvas. Mike Tyson, in his prime, would be proud of those shots.
You can't last 2 minutes in my world, bitch.
You wouldn't last 2 minutes in my world, bitch. So, in the aftermath of all of this, exactly what do we make of what just happened? Did we really just see two former teammates and friends bludgeon each other up on Twitter like that? Did these two just take turns going upside each other's head with a shovel or a 2x4, one tweet at a time? I mean, it sure appears that way, right? And knowing each of these two guys, that might very well be the case. Then again, knowing these two, they might just be trolling the entire world, trolling the rest of us, and texting each other while they're doing it and laughing their asses off. I mean, read that back again. Look at what Perkins did. He went right to the exact sore spots and made the same exact arguments that pretty much every egg makes on Twitter when it comes to Durant. So you tell me, real or fake? And you might even ask, what the hell would these two guys be doing faking a beef on Twitter? Why would they do that? Or you might ask, why would they go in on each other the way they did on Twitter? I could pose either one of those questions, and I can answer both of those questions. In fact, I could answer both those questions with the same answer. Why would they do either of those things? Why does anybody do anything? Because they can. And knowing these two dudes, who knows? Like, I want it. I know what I want it to be. I want it to be legit. I'm just not sure it is. Like, I'll be real. I'm not sure this is real. And if we are being real, we have to acknowledge these two are both a different breed of cat, right? In their own way. So no, I would not put it by them to be messing with all of you. Or it might be real because Kendrick is kind of an ornery guy. KD is kind of an ornery guy. Kendrick is prickly. KD is prickly. But if you had told me it was fake, I would have said, all right, just kept moving. You know, because Kendrick's kind of weird. KD's kind of weird. The biggest shock to me is that Kyrie Irving did not log on and get in the middle of it with some tweet about conspiracy theories and the third eye. Because Kyrie was the only piece missing from the weird guy trifecta. So was Perkins, the guy who had Durant's back when he left Golden State for Brooklyn and was telling everybody that Golden State didn't appreciate him and that Durant had one foot out the door all of last season. Is he suddenly going heel on Durant on Twitter? The guy who told everybody that Golden State was taking Durant for granted is, only a few months later, carving him on Twitter. You know, the way the worst people on Twitter go. I mean, I guess, maybe. Seems kind of weird. Just like I could see them clowning around and messing with all of us. Like I said, bottom line, I know what I want this to be. I know what I really want this to be, but knowing these two guys, there's a really good chance that this is not what I want it to be. Don't get hooked. Don't get hooked. I'm not buying it.